Hello YouTube. Today I've got something a little bit different going on. Today I'm going to demonstrate a very simple and basic reloading process. I'm also recording this in VHS miniature. I'm going to convert it to digital just because I want to. And I bought this cool little device on Amazon that is supposed to do it, and I want to check it out. So, this is going to be very basic. We're going to skip a lot of the basic adjustments and just show you the very simple process of reloading a single round of rifle ammunition. So, I've already adjusted my deprimer and resizer, and I'm working with Lee reloading dies. I've had excellent luck with them, and they're relatively inexpensive. I haven't had a problem with them yet. I'm not plugging them, but facts are what they are. They worked very well for me. So this is adjusted. This one will need some fine tuning to seat the bullet, and out of picture for the moment is my powder measure. But let's get started. You start with a clean case. Now in this case we're working with 7.7 Japanese round. 7.7, I think it's by 53. In any case, it's 7.7 Japanese. I use these in my Arisaka rifle, which is just a terrific rifle to fire. So you've got your clean case. Okay, it still got its primer, used primer. So we need to resize this and knock that primer out. We go to the first reloading press, and this is an older Lee that was given to me. And again, I'm not plugging them, but these are what I have, and they've worked great for what I do. First step I should mention is you want to get that case lubed up. So you take, this is a lube mat, and it's just a piece of foam rubber with some oil on it. Take the clean case, give it a roll, get some oil on that case. That's so it won't stick inside the die, because it sucks when the shell casing sticks in the die. I'm hoping you have a reasonably good view of this. Put it on its base, run it up into the die, and again, I've already adjusted this. The kits all come with paper instructions, tell you how to adjust these things. Just follow the instructions and do not deviate from manufacturer's instructions. That's a safety point. Also, I am not a teacher or an instructor. I'm just a guy who does stuff. I'm not advocating anything. I'm not encouraging anything. I just wanted to show how this was done and try my hand at converting analog to digital. So now, case is lubed. It's on its base. We run it up, and you might not have been able to hear it, but there's a little ping when the primer pops out. And when it comes down, then run up into that die. This neck here has been resized. The sides of the casing have been smoothed out and resized, and the primer is now gone. The next step is going to be to put a new primer in the shell case, and for that I'm using an RCBS primer installer. And this is kind of a neat gadget. You put your primers in this tray here, and it's got striations all the way around, so that when you dump the primers in, some will be right side up, some will be upside down. Just give it a little roll, and when the camera is not rolling, they will roll over perfectly. Okay, there. Now it's rolled over properly. Your primer's in there. Close it up. Shake them down into the corner, open the little gate, and you'll see, maybe you can't see, first primer has dropped into its slot. Put the resized, lubed case into the little jaws there. Give it a squeeze, always away from you. Give it a squeeze, and a fresh primer has been set. Next, you need to charge the case. Okay, now we're going to add powder to the case. This is also a Lee, they call it a perfect powder measure. I'm not so sure about perfect, but it works pretty well. I've already adjusted it. This comes with instructions, tells you exactly what to do and how to do it. A little bit of math involved, but it's pretty minor. Take your case that has the fresh primer in it. This has to be done in order. Put it into the funnel at the bottom. Lift the handle. Wait a second. And then lower the handle. That allows the powder to drop in. Wait a second. And then the appropriate amount of powder has been added. And I've already weighed out several charges out of this, so I'm reasonably confident that the charge is correct. But to prove it, dump the powder into my tray. I have a digital scale here, which you probably won't be able to see. I'm going to wait for it. And the charge is correct. It's a grain light. I can live with a grain light. When you're doing this, you're going to want to get yourself a reloading handbook. Now I've emptied the powder out, so I've got to put the powder back in. Again. Up. Down. Give it a second. And you're good to go. I happen to like the Lyman reloading handbooks. They're great. And they have unlimited, almost unlimited information. I had to go back to the 46th edition to find any information on the 7.7 Japanese, because it's kind of an oddball round nowadays. And it'll give you volumeric powder measurements according to whatever it is you're shooting. 7.7 Arisaka or Japanese. And I'll be installing a 150 grain Spitzer bullet. Find that information in the book and you follow it exactly. I always go for the low rounds or the low amounts. I don't load or fire any wildcat rounds, and I would discourage anyone from doing it. Okay, so we got to the point where we can install the bullet. Case has been lubed, resized, old primer knocked out, new primer pressed in, and a powder charge installed. So we put the case into the base of the next stage. This is your bullet seater. Put the bullet on top of the opening and press it up in. That is a little low, but not unacceptably. Again, the instructions come with just about all the ammunition, all the information you're ever going to need about this. It also gives you a maximum length, because that matters. And I am right there. I'm very quickly going to grab my micrometers and just double check. Alright, I grabbed it's actually a caliper. I checked the bullet length. I'm about 1/10 of an inch below maximum length as shown here. Maximum length for this particular round is given as 3.120 inches. I'm at about 3.2-ish, 3.02. But that'll work just fine for what I'm doing. I'm not a marksman. I just like to shoot. And that is pretty much it. You have a round that is now reloaded and ready to go, ready to shoot. You also want to, I should have mentioned this first, inspect all the cases before you reload them. Check them for cracks, breaks, any manner of damage. Any damage to these, throw them away. Even a little bit of a crack can just make them act poorly. And be mindful of being obedient to all local, state, and federal firearms laws. Be very careful handling gunpowder and primers. Risk of serious injury is very real. And I hope you enjoyed this. And until next time.